Good morning, lovelies. How are you all doing? I hope you're well. I say good morning. I'm actually just sitting here putting my wellies on because morning sparrows coming down for their dust baths in my soil. That might be changing soon. Yes, we had a bit of rain overnight. That's great. It's a bit blustery today. It's the perfect kind of day for me to be in the garden. It might not be the perfect day for filming. But anyway, let me catch you up a bit because today is Sunday the 25th of May. So 2 videos back, I'm trying to catch up with the garden. You saw the garden tour, and then I moved the compost bin, cleaned the shed, or cleared the shed out and set it up a bit. So that was the 18th of May. Good, wellies are on now. So in the intervening week, I've had the lovely and Richard and Paul here. Yay! We had a fab time. But also, so there's been all sorts going on. Obviously their visits, stuff indoors, but I've really tried to just push forward a little bit with the garden because it's coming up. I think in another few days' time or so, it's going to be 8 weeks since I moved in, and I've hardly given the back garden much time at all. That's okay, I've had other things, but I have pushed on a little bit now. So in the intervening time, I'm just trying to remember what's happened since then. So I've pricked out all the brassicas, so they're now in individual pots growing on. I've potted on all the tomatoes, potted on my courgettes. The squash is still in the module because I really don't want to disturb the roots. Squash, ideally, you only want to move them when you actually go to put them in the soil. Sometimes it's just not possible. So they've been put on. The main thing, I've scribbled a couple of notes of what's happened. The main thing is I forked through the whole of that main bed again, just to keep finding bits of ivy root, some of the roots of some of those pernicious weeds, bluebell bulbs, rocks. Now, almost certainly I've not found everything, but as I said in a previous video, I'm not doing any permanent planting this year, so next spring when they come up I can go, haha, found you, get them out. But yeah, I've been through the whole bed again just to fork it through to find what I could. What else? Cleared more of the area that's going to be the sort of the semi-shade and the shade area. I'll show you all this in a second. But first, I had a visit from the lovely Richard and Paul. And the last garden video you saw I cleared about half of the back wall, the small wall, not the side tall wall, but the back small wall, my snicket wall. I'd cleared half of it of the ivy. When the guys were here, Paul couldn't resist picking, so here's some footage of Paul marvellously picking away at the ivy on my back wall. You see, this is what happens when you're a gardener and you're in someone else's garden. You just can't help yourself.
Well,
Good work, lovely. I'm on. Oh, fantastic. So, yes, thanks, Richard. So, obviously, Richard and Paul are here. And Paul, it's like picking a scab, isn't it? Once you start, you can't stop. It's been going at this ivy for ages now. It's getting there. The thing with this is you have to be really careful. You don't just yank, because you can yank the mortar out. But I'm going to go on the other side, Paul. I'll go on the other side, and then we can work as a team. Hold on. Is what we've done, we checked that the root isn't on the outside, but we can't find where the root is. So this big bit but that's the main root. It's going straight back in under that coping stone.
Under here, this is where the root is.
What may have to happen in the end is I have the whole top like
taken off.
All the coping stones off, get this root
Oh,
out and relay the coping. But yeah, it's very destructive stuff. And, oh, I've got a sticky willy round my ankle now. Oh, I've got an ankle full of sticky willy. Yeah, it's I know a lot of folk are, oh, leave it, but
it'll just take the stone out.
the damage it's done already, yeah, it can't stay. Because frankly, it cost a fortune to get these walls fixed. Oh, good work, Paul. That was a very satisfying bit, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
look at that. But
Oh yeah, it's just completely loose. Because as it's growing and growing and growing, it forces the mortar out. I was just in the corner down there, a bit further on from Paul, before we were filming, and there's mortar. It's just turned to sand. They're pushed out, and it's all ivy, sort of branch. So yeah, so that's why we are being careful yanking it, so it doesn't.
yeah, it has to be yanked.
You don't want
but
to.
it has to be careful.
Exactly, because you could yank it and just pull the whole wall over. But yeah, making headway. It's always nicer doing things with friends, isn't it? Do it as a work party. But I think this might all now need snickers. Oh, and the bird bath is now an ivy bath. Oh, I wonder if it will moisturise their feathers. It is a scab. It's going to have to be kept being picked at. Oh, that's a good one. I tell you what, the secateurs are the other side of you now. Would you pass them to me, please? Just on the wall, top, middle-ish. Thank you. Well, you came on holiday to Swanage, and what happened? You got put to work.
Well, we got fed and we got shown around.
They got fed. They got food, water, and shelter.
And we got the truth about Swanage and its history and your long history with it. Why you know it so well.
Oh yes, because with any, I know I've got a lot of new subscribers and people don't realise that this is my family history is here, so it's not a new town to me. But yeah, before the chaps came, I did make a note of there were a couple of jobs because I'm a poor weak woman. No, there were a couple of jobs I made a note of. I thought, oh, while the guys are here, let's make the most of it in terms of going up the ladder to do those lamps. I'm happy to do it, but not without someone footing the ladder. Anyway, before I could get to the top of the ladder, these two had it under control. This wasn't a job on the list. Paul's hummus recipe was on the list, because his hummus always turns out beautifully, and mine always turns out, it's okay. You know, wouldn't write home about it. So I had a cookery lesson yesterday. I had a masterclass.
A hummus master.
A hummus masterclass. And it was gorgeous. We had it for our supper with we had a little bit of a picnic supper.
Yeah, look, it's right in there.
Right, well, we'll continue. Actually, I need to start thinking about lunch.
Look at that.
So, oh, yeah. And then back into the wall. Then
out the other side.
It doesn't actually come out here.
Oh, well, that's good.
So it must. I think what it does is it goes into the wall and it's coming along. It might be this bit. That might be underneath, and that's what this is. Look, I think this is the start.
Yeah.
I think that's the culprit right there, that big knuckle of it.
Yeah, and that's tight.
Fantastic. Yay! Done, sort of, pretty much. I'll show you that in a second. There are still issues, and actually getting all the ivy off has revealed an issue, or at least an historical issue. But the thing for today, that's why we're here today, is one of the main reasons to get that bed dug through again was because Paul kindly brought some plants from his garden. I won't say any more, I'll show you, but because they've been potted on at his garden, hardened off, they really need to go in the garden. So that's the plan for today, fingers crossed. If this weather holds, it doesn't know what it wants to do. It feels like it wants to absolutely welly it down again. That's all right. Got my wellies on. Okay, let me show you how we got on with the wall, and let me show you the plants. That's the fun bit. Just before I get to the plants, actually, let me locate you. This is... Oh. So I normally have my... Oh, is the wind going to be an issue? I normally have the straw seated chair here. It's actually in the shed for now because of the rain. And look, a couple of boxes, tray on top. And then this is that great, that fab mat that Tracy sent. It's normally upturned. Let me show you. Oh, that. It's sort of like that, all around. Do my pricking out and potting on there. Then any compost that spills, I can just tip it back into the bag, so there's no waste. But I just turned the corners down last night to act as a bit of a... because it's just cardboard, a bit of waterproofing. Yeah, it was pretty windy. And then round here, well, you saw I moved the compost bin, but also this whole area got cleared. Now, you see it's got a bit of sunlight. The next plan here, where this is the, I want to say viburnum, is that the right one? I still need to give the jasmine, not so much a prune, but a tie-in. That's fine for now. But yes, with the viburnum, what I want to do is remove its skirt, as it were, and there's still bluebells and pernicious weeds under there to get out, but then that's also going to allow a little bit more light to get through, because every inch of growing space matters when it comes to veggies. So I mean, this is crying out for a rhubarb. I don't have one yet. I've got other plans. I might put some of my brassicas, a couple of brassicas in here, because they don't mind a little bit of shade. So this is morning light, so at the moment the sun is over here, coming this way, tell by the shadow. But then by the afternoon it'll be this way, and that will all be bathed in light, especially if I get that area cleared. But this main bed now is done, dug and dusted. And yeah, just a few more rocks. Any that are purbeck I will clean off and keep, because anything that's not, they can become crooks for pots later, because I am going to have pots in this garden. But yeah, any that are purbeck stone are going to be cleaned off and kept for any wall repairs or even house repairs. So yay, this whole bed is now prepped. I'll be coming into bright sunshine now. Do you want to see the sea before we get on with things? Morning sea. We've just missed the church bells of St Mary's were pealing like, oh, it was beautiful, and the first steam train of the day just set off, so we had a toot toot. Look at these loving a mist now. They're so beautiful. I love this really dark, you're not going to see it, it's really a strong blue. Let me come round, see if I can give you an idea of how strong that blue is. Let's go shady. It's a beautiful blue. This, is it Berberis? Oh, I can't remember the name. My grandparents had this in their wall too. The bees adore it. Now, it's a little bit, it's a bit invasive into the mortar, so I'm going to keep that trimmed. I want to keep it because the bees love it so much, but it has to be, yeah, I have to keep an eye on it. Right, okay. Never mind that wall. Let me step back a bit and then you can see this wall. Hurrah! It's clear for now. There's still a root in there which I'll show you, but do you remember I was saying the other day where I started to clear it, there was a dip in the top and I thought, oh, something's wrong there. You should be able to tell from this. You see to the left, you can see sort of the strata, the layers of stone that's been built up, and then suddenly it's just a higgledy-piggledy mess. I think that's from a previous fall down because of the ivy. and it's just been put back. I mean, it's a mess, but it's holding. And I think you can see in here, we still have, this is quite, oh, my shadow might help us actually here. This, no, my shadow isn't helping us. Let's step aside. I think that is the nub of the problem in there and here. As you might have seen in that clip with me and Paul, I had gone on the other side of the snicket to see if there's a root. No evidence, and it's not coming out the other side, so it's in the wall. It's actually in the wall. So that will have to be, again, I don't know if I'll ever get it out, rather like this great lump of it here. It's humongous. So yes, it's one. I think it's going to be one of those things where I have to be, you know, every year as it starts to try to come back, cut it. Just keep cutting, keep cutting. There's lots of little bits left around, but now where they've been, sorry, it was really overcast a minute ago and perfect for filming. Where there's little bits left like this, now that they've been cut off from the root, as it were, they'll dry up, and once they're really dry, they're considerably easier to just sort of pick off and pull out. I mean, ivy, it's so tenacious, it's incredible that such these little tiny, almost like they're like hair-like, can grip so tight to a building, but they do. Anyway, I am absolutely delighted. Watch where I'm going, stepping back. I'm absolutely delighted that at least that is one wall taken care of in terms of ivy. Most of the rest of the wall, weeds, if you like, the campanula, the valerian, the herb robert, they can stay. Well, the valerian I'll keep an eye on as well. And there are things like the ivy-leaved toadflax. That's not ivy-leaved toadflax. Where? Oh, there we go, on that wall. That can also stay. It's got such minute little roots, it doesn't hurt the wall. That's beautiful, actually. Right, oh yeah, the rope has ended up over here. Money roll rope. I might reuse it somewhere. The bird bath is still there because the birds are used to it being there. So they come along, they have their dust bath, and then do you see the little piece of stone next to the bath? They hop onto that stone and lean forward to have their drink. It's sweet. Right, never mind any of that. What did Paul bring? I'm so pleased. This is a Verbena bonariensis. And, oh, it's going to be in flower soon. I think it's goldfinches or chaffinches? Goldfinches, I think. Goldfinches love the seeds of this in the autumn. But never mind the autumn, I love it in the summer. It's purple, it's beautiful. So I'm going to have that in the corner. So as it grows, its heads will be higher up. It'll just waft in the breeze a bit. I had intended to put it into the front garden, but I still haven't quite finished clearing the front. I want it out here, and I'm so pleased with this coming from Paul. It's actually come from one of his plot buddies, in the same way that all the verbena I had in my London allotment came from my allotment friend Gary. So it feels like it's a bit of a tradition. You can't grow your own, it has to be gifted, and it has to come from a plot neighbour where it's self-seeded. So I'm delighted with that. He also brought, well, I just say he because Paul's the one who's in charge of the allotment. There is what's this one? This is a red curry squash. It's an acorn type squash. We think it's a trailing variety rather than a clump forming. It's already getting flowers. The reason I'm mentioning whether it's trailing or clump forming is it is good to know what you grow before you grow it. So if it was a clump forming one, I might think somewhere like, although it's in shade at the moment, it's still early, it's only about 10:30 I think. A clump, yay! But if it's going to trail, well, maybe I can grow other things and then trail it through. So yeah, it's good to know if it's a trailing variety or not, or clump. This one is a yellow courgette. Now I think I might pop it down there, because although it looks like deep shade at the moment, it actually ends up with a fair bit of light, and then it's got the space to spread, because like I said, I haven't got a rhubarb at the moment, so that might do for down there. Then, and I'm chuffed with this, this is one of, look, it's a Vivi cucumber. So I gave Paul seeds, years ago, 4 or 5, maybe more years ago. And so he grows cukes each year and obviously saves seeds. Oh, this little marjoram, it's a self-seeded one. I've got particular ideas for that. I'm going to keep it in my hand for now. What else? That was it, yes. So, I'm delighted. A squash, a courgette, a cucumber, a marjoram, and the Verbena bonariensis over in the corner of my plants. So you can see now, everything's got a bit of ivy on it. The ivy went everywhere. All the brassicas, you need a bit of firming in. They've all been pricked out. They're doing fine. And more brassicas here. These are going to go in the front garden as well. It's a small front garden, but I'm happy to have food amongst all my flowers. The beans are really ready to go in. Some of the tomatoes might be ready. These have had longer hardening off, but there's a couple of trays that haven't had long to harden off. The chard can go in now. Next door, the fennel not showing. These are really, really late sowings. My cukes, well, of course, they're coming up. They're so reliable. 3, 4, 5, 6, I can see loads already. I'm going to build, I need to get some, I know, says she excitedly. I need to get bean poles for the tomatoes, but I'm thinking, yes, I do a little bit of a teepee here of bean poles. I'm going to put the cukes here, up a teepee. So one of the reasons I'm mentioning getting Paul's plants in today, can you see the contrast? Let me just grab this, which was only potted on about 5 days ago. Let me put aside, which one's the courgette? Okay, it's that one. So I'll move this one out of the way so it's easier to see, clearer to see. So look at the difference between the one Paul's brought down and that one. The difference is that his has been potted up quite a bit longer, and you can see how the leaves are starting to look a bit yellow and pale. That's a plant that's saying, put me in the ground. It's used up the nutrients in the compost in that pot. It wants to get its feet in the soil. Keeping them in pots too long can stress them a bit. So that's the only reason why there's quite a contrast with their leaves. It's a beautiful plant. I can tell it's a strong plant. It's got tons coming. It's just telling me it really wants to be planted out so it can make the most of whatever it can find in the soil. So that it shall. Right, the marjoram. Oopla. This was Paul's idea. Thank you very much, Paul. Because before he started, I think, where had I got to? I think it was just the other side of that white valerian. Which Paul is very enamoured of. So as it starts to go to seed, I'll get one of my little muslin bags to put over one of the heads to try and capture some seed for him. So that's where we were picking at the other day together. But he was looking at where I'd already got to and said, ooh, you've got little spots in the top. You could grow something in there, said he. And then I said, I know. How about the marjoram that he brought, which is a little self-seeded one anyway. So I think that's the plan for it. It should get enough sun here. I'll just have another little go through. Look, there's just some fine fibrous bits left. Yeah, I'll have another little go through mortar that's been pushed out. It will need a little bit more soil in here, but maybe that will be your spot. And you've got a bit of space to come through both of them. Or maybe here, and then I'll see it from the garden. Yeah, because that one, if it's in there, I won't see it, will I? Because it'll be lower down. But I think that's a really sweet idea. And then hopefully, because again, its roots won't be too much of an issue. It can maybe hopefully self-seed and just, so I'll have a herb wall. Yay! Right, so that's what I've got. Oh, and I knew there was something else. The lovely little rose that was in their back garden, and then their neighbours were extending, doing something, and the whole fence had to come down, so the rose came down, so he took cuttings. I had cuttings of this, again, it's maybe back to 2021, and I had one on my fence, sort of on the deck fence area in the allotment, and I still had 2 in pots, which actually then ended up being given to plot friends before I left. But oh, it wants to flower. Now for this, it's going to go in the semi-shade area. The plan for it is a bay, by the way. I just don't know what was wrong with my nose the other day. This is just, it's scarily next to that wall. It terrifies me. So it's got to go. And so I'm going to extend the trellis, because obviously it's providing privacy between our 2 kitchen windows. So the idea will be a honeysuckle and that rose. And I think initially, before either of them are established, I can just get some bamboo or some rush sort of screening to put up, so that we both get our privacy until the plants are established. But yeah, I think the rose, well, that's going to be an issue with sound, isn't it? Let's come down. Let's come to the shelter. Yeah, I think a rose and a honeysuckle there will be lovely. But none of that's going to happen unless I get, courgette, unless I get actually doing. How wonderful to have established, thank you Paul, plants to put in and get playing with straight away. Yay! Maybe some chard. And so on. about. Rock pile. I thought I'd just give you a quick show and tell where I'm up to. I think I might actually end up getting some grow bags for some of the tomatoes. That's the squash and the cucumber still coming on, but now, yay, we have plants. So tomatoes, some chard interspersed, the Verbena bonariensis, of course my inherited flowers. Beans are going to go in here, also dotted with, there's chard dotted all around the place. See, there's chard there and there, so that as the flowers die back, that lovely green will come through, and of course it's edible. Then, oh, is it 12 o'clock? The bells are ringing again. Then that's my courgette. And this is the cuke. So it's my safe seed, but Paul grew it. It's his safe seed from my original seed there. And I've just marked out where I want to put some more cukes, so you can see in my little bit of a teepee. Another couple of tomatoes in at the back. God, how many tomatoes. And again, bits of chard dotted. That's the red curry squash from Paul. I don't know which way it's going to trail. Sod's law, it'll want to come into here, whereas I want it to come out and onto the patio, in fact. And then in here I've just popped in one of my courgettes and the one from Paul. Yay! Now, I think I'm going to sit down for a second before I start getting all the beans in. Yeah, let's have a seat. Oh, that is a proper frugal girl garden, if ever there was one. Apart from, I think so far £15 spent on compost to start seeds and to pot things on, and I've actually got some compost left over. I haven't spent a penny. It's all saved seeds. I always save my own seeds, wherever possible. Paul does too. So literally, yeah, it's all the plants. It's free, and of course the inherited love and a mist. The point is, this garden it's virtually cost nothing so far. I haven't gone out and spent a ton of money on fancy stuff and, I don't know, fancy stuff. I haven't done it. I'm doing it the frugal way. I'm going to be growing food for pennies. The big ticket item, of course, as always with veg growing, is it's my time and effort and hard work. That's what this garden has cost, a bit of hard work. But I enjoy hard work, I don't shy away from it, and I know what result I'm going to get is I'm going to get to this stage where I get to start having mucky hands, where I get to start planting things and enjoying watching things grow. And this will really fill out over the course of the next, where are we? We're right at the end of May. So throughout May and June, as the nighttime temperatures get warmer too, it will really start to fill out, so that I always find my vegetable garden was always looking at its peak in the beginning of August. But yeah, there we go. There's still a lot to do. And with some of the spare plants there for the front garden, I want to have the front garden so that it looks pretty, but it's actually, oh, hang on a minute, it's all food. It's all edible. I hope no one nicks it, but there we go. Yes, so there's still a lot to do, but it just shows what quite a bit of effort and hard work you can achieve and have set up a vegetable garden that's, I'm growing my own food for nothing. For nothing. Just save your seeds and get going again next year. Right, I hope that's encouraged you all too. I always find this moment at the end of the day when I look to see what's gone in and what's happened that day, I always take a moment to appreciate that, to think, yes, you have made progress today. I know there's still a lot to do, but enjoy this moment of seeing the today's progress, and then tomorrow you can look at all the stuff that needs doing still, and then tomorrow or the next weekend, for me it's probably going to be next weekend, the next time I have a day out here, I'll do exactly the same. At the end of the day I'll stop and I'll look and I think, yeah, go girl, you did good today. Just try not to look at all the other stuff that does need doing. Alright lovelies, I hope you've enjoyed hanging out in the garden again today. I will see you all again really soon. There's a couple of other bits and bobs of projects. There's some, yeah, projects that aren't anything to do with the plants, but are to do with sort of maintenance, and you'll see. We'll do that again before too long. But for now, I need to get those beans in, so I'm going to say to you all, happy planting, happy growing, happy garden time to all of you. And until the next one, cheerio.